friends, welcome back. Now in previous videos we have completed sp3d2 hybridization. Now in this video I am going to discussing with you the last part of this hybridization, that one is called as the sp3d3. Now what happened in the sp3d3 hybridization, you know very well dear friends, this is the last part of this hybridization which is called as sp3d3. 1s3p, and in place of 2d, in this case 3d orbitals are involved in this mixing. Now which is the 3d? The 3d is dxy, then finally dxy, dyz and dzx. These are the three orbitals which are involved in this mixing. So what is the definition of this sp3d3 hybridization? This is the hybridization in which mixing of 1s, 3p and 3d orbital takes place, and after mixing it gives the 7 new sp3d3 hybrid orbital which having equivalent in energy and shape. This is called as sp3d3. So another important things, these 7 sp3d3 orbital are configured in pentagonal bipyramidal shape. Those molecule which have sp3d3 hybridization, then the shape of that molecule is pentagonal. This is not trigonal, this is pentagonal bipyramidal. The shape of this molecule is pentagonal bipyramidal, and bond angles are 72 and 5 bond angles are 72 degree. 5 bond angles are 72 degree, 5 bond angle, and remaining 2 bond angles are 90 degree, making a 2 bond angle that is 72 degree and 90 degree. Only 2 examples are there. That 2 example is the one example is called as the IF7. This is called as iodine heptafluoride, and next example is called as XeF6, xenon hexafluoride, 6 bond pair, 1 lone pair. So what is the pentagonal bipyramidal geometry, dear student? This is the pentagon. This is the pentagon. Central atom is the iodine. Here one fluorine, here another fluorine, here next fluorine, here this fluorine, here this is called pentagon, and finally these are the bipyramidal FF. This is called as pentagonal bipyramidal. Pentagon bond angle is 72 degrees Celsius. 5 bond angle 1 2 3 4 and 5 bond angle is 72, and 2 bond angles is how much? It is 90. Best example is IF7 and XeF6. So dear student, these are the very interesting concept which I discussed with you. That one is called as the concept of hybridization. You know, in detail I am discussed with you concept of hybridization. I hope you read very carefully. You write down all the example which I given to you on board. Write down in your notebook. Read all that example. Keep all the example with bond angle, geometrical shape, hybridization in your mind, because in examination they ask you what is the hybridization of this given molecule. Now till now we are completed hybridization part. Now today in this period I am going to discussing with you the next time very interesting concept of this topic, that is called as the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. You must be very serious with this. You don't worry what's happened in this case. I will explain you all the detailed concept related to this phenomenon. This is called as valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. So which are the important concept related with this valence shell? See, this is very interesting concept related to this phenomenon, valence shell electron pair, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. In short, this theory is also called as this theory VSEPR. This is also called as VSEPR, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, and this theory is also called as Gillespie and Nyholm, GLESSPIE or GLESSPIE, Gillespie or NYHOM, Nyholm theory. So these are the very interesting concept, dear student. Listen very carefully. Now these are the very important concept now I am saying to you. According to Sidgwick and Paul, they given to you the structure. Suppose for example If central atom doesn't have any lone pair of electron, suppose for example, if I am explaining you, suppose this is BF3. Now BF3 is a molecule, it doesn't have any lone pair of electron. Therefore, due to absence of lone pair of electron, this molecule have a regular geometry with normal bond angle. Regular geometry with normal bond angle means what? The BF3 120 degree and bond angle is trigonal planar. Bond angle is triangular. That is what we say. This is called as the bond angle is triangular. You know, triangular means planar shaped. Suppose after the BF3 we have a CH4, bond angle 109 degree 28 minute, and the geometry is regular. That one is called as the tetrahedron. You know very well, geometry is tetrahedron or tetrahedral. Another example is CO2, no bond angle, no lone pair, bond angle is 180, geometry is linear. So according to valential electron pair repulsion theory, what theory says that if the central atom possesses only bonded pair, no lone pair, only bonded pair. If the central atom possesses only bonded pair of electron along with identical atom means 3 fluorine, 4 hydrogen, and atom is must be identical, side atom is must be identical along with identical atom, then the shape of the compound is symmetrical according to Sidgwick and Paul. So keep in your mind, if the central atom having all bonded pair without lone pair along with identical atom, then at that time what's happened in this case or in this phenomenon? So the shape of this molecule is symmetrical according to this concept. Now these are the 3 molecules in which central atom doesn't have any lone pair and identical atom attached to each other. Now see the second one, important second one. If central atom possesses bonded pair of electron as well as lone pair of electron, अगर समझो central atom पे bonded pair of electron है और with that bonded pair we have some lone pair of electron, then shape of the molecule will be unsymmetrical. अभी ये जो shape है, this shape is called as the symmetrical shape. Keep in your mind, and those molecule which have a symmetrical shape, then that molecule is non-polar. Dipole moment of that whole molecule is 0. We will see later on. But what's happened? If central atom have a lone pair, then at that time that molecule never become the symmetrical, that become the unsymmetrical, and the shape of this molecule is unsymmetrical. And why the lone pair containing molecule is unsymmetrical? Because those molecule which have a lone pair, then at that time lone pair repulsion is very strong as compared to lone pair bond pair repulsion. And finally bond pair repulsion, bond pair. Dear student, those molecule which have a lone pair or 2 lone pair, this repulsion is very strong, lone pair or lone pair bond pair, and this repulsion makes molecule unsymmetrical. The molecule never become the symmetrical, and that also reduces the bond angle. Therefore in short we people say bond angle is inversely proportional to number of lone pair of electron on central atom. Bond angle is inversely proportional to what? Number of lone pair of electron on the central atom. So these are the very important concept. I will give you one example to you. Suppose for example, by increasing the lone pair, bond angle will be reduces. For example, see toward this, we have a methane molecule, we have a ammonia molecule, and we have a water molecule. You know, all these molecules have a same hybridization. Hybridization of all these molecules is sp3, but bond angle is 109 degree 28 minute. Bond angle of ammonia is 17 degree, and bond angle of water is 105 degree. So why bond angle reduces? Because as a lone pair increases, bond angle of that particular central atom will be decreases. So making a bond angle of methane, because it doesn't have any lone pair, normal bond angle with sp3 hybridization. But in ammonia, one lone pair is there. Actually one lone pair repulsion reduces the bond angle by 2.5. So 107, 105. So in the different molecule, if central atom have same number of lone pair of electron, then bond angle will be depends on electronegativity of A and B. Now the fourth case now I am representing in front of you. That fourth case is very important. Write down these 3 cases. In first case, those central atom, all electrons are bonded paired, it doesn't have lone pair with the same side atom or attached to the same atom. then the shape of this molecule is symmetrical or geometry of this molecule is regular, that is BF3 120 trigonal 109 tetrahedron 180 linear. But if the central atom possesses the lone pair, then the shape of that molecule never become the symmetrical, the shape of molecule become unsymmetrical. If the shape is unsymmetrical, and why that shape become the unsymmetrical? Because due to repulsion between the lone pair and bond pair. So in repulsion chemistry, the more strong repulsion is a lone pair, then after that lone pair, and then finally bond pair, and this repulsion reduces the bond angle. So in short, we people says this like this: bond angle is inversely proportional to number of lone pair of electron on central atom. So dear student, example methane ammonia. Now the fourth case I considering in front of you, very interesting case which related to this VSEPR theory, which is a fourth case. If the different molecule have same central atom, see in different molecule, if central atom have same number of lone pair electron, then bond angle depends on electronegativity of A and B. Suppose this is the fourth case, very important, very important. Suppose I have OHH, this is lone pair, I have SHH, this is lone pair. Now dear student, which is the fourth case? This is to different central atom which contains same number of lone pair with same side atom. Is it okay? Same number of lone pair with same side atom, then bond angle depends on electronegativity. It means in short we say that electronegativity, see bond angle, listen very carefully, bond angle is directly proportional to electronegativity of central atom. My friends, just tell me which atom is more electronegative, either oxygen or sulfur. Now oxygen is more electronegative, therefore bond angle of this is 105 degree, and here just bond angle is 92 degree. So what happened? This is the fourth and very interesting case I am representing in front of you. Which is that interesting case? If two central atom is different with the same lone pair and same side atom, then what's happened with the bond angle? Then bond angle is directly proportional to the electronegativity of central atom. The electronegativity of oxygen is always greater than sulfur, therefore bond angle is 105 and this is bond angle is 92. Now suppose for example I will give you one more example to you. Example, dear student, NH3, then NH3 bond angle is greater than PH3 and bond angle of PH3 is greater than ASH3, because these are the atom in which same lone pair with same side atom, then bond angle is directly proportional to electronegativity of that central atom. I hope you don't have any problem. This is VIMP concept, very important. You keep in your mind always and forever. Now I am going to discussing with you the next time very interesting concept of this. Suppose my friend, dear student, suppose I have the second case is like this, OClCl, and suppose I have the OFF. Now which is the case? The case in which the central atom with lone pair is same but side atom is different. Then what's happened in this case? The bond angle, listen, if side atom is different, then my friend, here we say bond angle is inversely proportional to electronegativity of side atom. मतलब साइड एटम की जितनी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी ज़्यादा रहेंगी उतना बॉन्ड एंगल कम रहेगा. सो टेल मी, दिस इज अ क्लोरीन एंड दिस इज अ फ्लोरीन. फ्लोरीन इज मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव, देयरफॉर बॉन्ड एंगल ऑफ this is more than, because side atom is a fluorine, electronegativity is high. If electronegativity is high, then bond angle is inversely proportional to electronegativity of side atom. Don't be confused, electronegativity of side atom. Therefore, dear student, the bond angle of this is 110 degree, and bond angle of OF2 is 103 degree. This is a very interesting case I am discussing with you. For example, I have this example. I have a PF3 I have a PCl3, I have a PBr3, I have a PI3, then bond angle of PI3 is greater than PBr3, it greater than PCl3 because central atom is same, side atom is different, and if we have a central atom is same and different side atom, then bond angle is inversely proportional to the electronegativity of side atom. Keep in your mind, this concept is also very important to you. Now I am discussing with you the next and very interesting concept, that one is called as the sixth point. If you wish to consider another example, suppose I have OF2, suppose I have OBr2, and suppose I have OF2, I am sorry, here OCl2 and OBr2, bond angle of OBr2 is greater. Oh, okay, don't worry, you don't have any problem related to this. Now second one important thing, suppose for example we have on increasing the size of side atom, bond angle increases. Suppose the next example, I have a OHH, I have a OClCl. So which one have a greater bond angle? Because both have a same number of lone pair, both have a same number of lone pair. Size of chlorine is greater than hydrogen atom. Therefore, on increasing size, what is the next case? On increasing size, bond angle increases. My friend, my students, listen very carefully, because these two rules are same. The atomic size of chlorine is greater than fluorine. On increasing size means decreasing electronegativity. This is the very simple and very systematic concept. So this is called as the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. So which are the important aspects related to you by considering the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory? I hope you don't have any problem whenever we discussing the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. You keep in your mind, this is called as the VSEPR or Gillespie and Nyholm theory. So I hope you don't have any problem in this theory. Now the finally, dear student, I conclude today's video by giving some characteristics of the covalent compound. You write down in your notebook which are the characteristics of covalent compound. So this point is over. What is the VSEPR theory? Which are the important aspects of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory? Now we are moving toward the next one, that is called as characteristic of covalent compound. Only write down in your notebook. No need to discuss more things related to this characteristics phenomenon. How? Suppose the first character, that one is called as the physical state. Write down in your notebook. I don't want to explain more things related with this. Write down the first physical state. Covalent compound are found in all three states, that is solid, liquid and gas. See, the covalent compounds are found in all these three states. Write down in your notebook, solid, liquid and gas. You know very well, suppose for example fluorine and chlorine are gases, bromine are liquid and iodine are solid. Yes or no? This is the best example to you, because covalent compounds are exist in all three physical state. Which is that all three physical state? Solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. What happen in the solid, liquid and gas? The fluorine is a gas, fluorine and chlorine is a gas, while bromine is a liquid, and finally iodine is the solid. This is the first physical characteristics. The second character, covalent solid. Second character, write down covalent solid. Those solid in which atoms are linked together by covalent bonds forms infinite three-dimensional structure. That one is called as the covalent solid. We have a generally in covalent bonded solid are of two type, covalent and molecular. What is covalent? Those solid which have a purely covalent bond. Example: diamond, graphite, aluminum nitride, silicon carbide, silica. These are the example of covalent solid. Diamond, graphite, silicon carbide, silica, that is SiO2, etc. Now what is molecular solid? Discrete molecule are formed by covalent bond, and these molecule associate due to intermolecular force of attraction, and that intermolecular force of attraction is called as the van der Waals force, and that one is called as the molecular solid. Example: solid I2, solid CO2, etc. Now these two are the physical properties or characteristic. Now next character is called as the conductivity. Write down third character, conductivity. Mostly covalent compounds are bad conductor of electricity, but few polar covalent compound due to ionization can conduct the electricity. If the covalent compound is polar, due to ionization that conduct the electricity. Now what is the polarity in covalent compound? That one is the next point. That one is called as the dipole moment. The dipole moment we are discussing in the next videos. Listen, free ions are formed which can conduct electricity. Exception, graphite, HCl in water, etc. Listen, now finally solubility. The fourth character is the solubility. Non-polar compounds are soluble in non-polar solvent. Non-polar compounds form van der Waals bond with non-polar solvent, and while the covalent polar compound are some soluble in polar solvent. These are the phenomenon. And next, isomerism. Dear student, I completed isomerism in organic chemistry very detailed. You know very well, organic compound means covalent compound, and isomerism is a property of that covalent compound. You know very well, that is, as covalent bond is a rigid and directional, so it show isomers. Example, organic compounds happen. In organic compound we are discuss the chain isomers, position isomers, functional isomers, ring chain isomers, metamers, etc., etc. That all concepts we are discussed in previous topic. And finally reactions. Reactions between covalent compounds are slow because involves breaking of old bond and making of new bond. So dear students, these are the very much interesting concept related to you by considering the phenomenon of organic chemistry. So what happened in this case? These are the very interesting concepts. So as per my idea, you don't have any problem related to this covalent compound. That one is called as the properties of covalent. I hope till now we are completed most of the point related with this topic. Now in next period I am discussing with you the very important part of this topic. That one is called as the dipole moment. What is the meaning of dipole moment? The dipole moment is nothing but the polarity induced in the covalent bond due to difference in the electronegativity of bonded atoms. The how much polarity, it means how much ionic character present on that particular covalent bond. That ionic character present on that covalent bond we measure in terms of dipole moment. So what is the dipole moment of that particular atom? How the dipole moment become zero? How the dipole moment become non-zero? That we will discussing in the next video, because you must know all these things, application of dipole moments, etc., etc. Because the point which required to you for your JEE examination as well as NEET examination, I will try to cover all the point related to you in terms of chemical bonding. So friends, you must be very serious with this topic. You read very carefully, because in beginning of your syllabus I completed your very important organic chemistry topic. That one is called like the nomenclature, isomerism and reaction mechanism. Because from that nomenclature, from that isomerism, from that reaction mechanism, definitely they ask you some question, that is stability or acidic strength or basic strength. So by considering the scope of that question, by considering that phenomenon, you read very carefully, and dipole moment we will discussing in the next video. Thank you very much.